About the Riot Blockchain. Now, you guys remember in October the company was called Bioptic, and then overnight they changed the name to Riot Blockchain. They entered the cryptocurrency business, and the stock took off. It's come back some off the highs, certainly, but it was up huge. And now there are some shareholders who are actually suing, saying that the company made, quote, misleading statements about its business. So I want to bring in the CEO of Riot Blockchain, John O'Rourke, who joins us now. John, a lot of companies are changing their name. A lot of companies have all, gone from making pasta to being in a blockchain business overnight. And it's done wonders for their stocks, but people are concerned. How do you explain to these shareholders who are concerned? How do you explain to other folks who are watching this sort of cryptocurrency madness, wanting to get in, but not sure everything's on the up and up?
Sure. So I think a common misconception as it relates specifically to Riot Blockchain is that we were one of those just looking to capitalize on the hype around the sector. The reality is we evaluated many different opportunities, including the blockchain sector. The investment that presented itself and was the driving force for our decision to enter this space was in a company called CoinSquare, which is now the leading digital currency exchange in Canada, in which we own a sizable stake, and we're up over 15-fold on that investment. And to my knowledge, we were the first NASDAQ-listed company with blockchain in its name. We had no idea what the market reaction was going to be. We knew and recognized that there was a growing appetite from investors looking to get exposure to the sector. And ultimately, part of our thesis was that we could provide investors a way to get exposure to this growing technology movement with a NASDAQ-listed and fully SEC reporting company.
Yeah, although I guess investors could also invest in the Canadian company that you referenced there and just have a direct investment. I mean, what happened to your core business? What are you doing there, and what are you doing to flesh out the portfolio of other holdings or other organic abilities to deliver on blockchain?
Sure. So first off, CoinSquare is a private company. Many burgeoning companies in this industry are private, not allowing traditional access to investors. Separately, our internal focus operationally is on growing out our cryptocurrency mining operation, which is rapidly expanding. That's been our focus. We see that as a great leveraged way to accumulate Bitcoin specifically. We have a strategic view on where we believe Bitcoin is heading as it continues to become institutionalized. And ultimately, our Bitcoin mining operations are providing us a leveraged way to get that exposure.
Now, are you making investments in the sort of machines that we know you need very powerful computers to do this? You need a strong source of power supply to be able to pull this off. Do you have the funds to continue to make the investments to really be a real player and to mine these Bitcoins successfully?
Absolutely. So we recently raised $37 million. Several notable institutions participated in that financing, were well capitalized. And you're absolutely right about the power needed to run these cryptocurrency mining operations. Our focal point has been securing as much low-cost, efficient energy as we can. We're looking at that from a global standpoint. And ultimately, today we own 100% of 8,000 ASIC cryptocurrency miners. Once those are fully deployed, which we expect to be around the middle of the second quarter for full deployment up and running, we should be generating over 100 petahash of hashing power, which is a pretty sizable number.
John, before I let you go then, and I know you can't, of course, speak specifically to the lawsuit, but to viewers who are watching and want to have access to Bitcoin/blockchain, what do you tell them? Because the ICOs, these initial coin offerings are getting a bad name. There are 1,500 different cryptocurrencies out there, and Venezuela got into the game this week. I mean, it seems almost like, it's like the tulip thing on steroids for a lot of people, even though I personally think there's some legitimacy to the notion of cryptocurrency. How do you assuage people's fears?
So unfortunately, with any new technologies that has a lot of hype around it, such as Bitcoin and blockchain technology, ultimately it does attract some bad actors looking to capitalize on that. I think that's the focal point of the SEC Chairman Clayton and the CFTC Chairman John Carlo. They want to make sure that investors have adequate protections that they deserve. from these bad actors. Ultimately, in the testimony they gave just a couple weeks ago, they did also say that they do not want to hamper the growth of this disruptive technology.
Right.
They compared it to the internet in that sense. I think that is very encouraging for the sector. But ultimately, investors need to have adequate protections, or in full favor of that. And I don't think it's a question of more or less regulation necessarily. It's about continuing to lay out the proper framework for companies to follow.
John O'Rourke, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.